Fantastic. All right, so hello everyone. Welcome to a slightly special edition of Talking and Docking. We're calling this Talking and Designing instead. And we're mostly doing it to mark a event that we've kind of been running for the last month. Some of you may have seen our new shop, which we launched in June. This is the Astro Swag shop at shop.astro.build, and you can buy stuff. If you feel like some Astro Swag, go buy stuff. But we're also running this design contest, and I thought it'd be fun to kind of take a look at it and maybe do some designing live together, and see how that goes. So yeah, if you go to this shop.astro.build/contest, there's all the information about it. Basically, our idea was it could be really fun for members of the community to get involved and contribute to building or creating unique Astro-inspired merch items. If you look through the store, we've got various things. We've got t-shirts, hats, stickers, that kind of things you'd expect from a tech company that has swag. But one of the kind of highlight things we have going at Astro is how amazing our community is, how wonderful everyone is contributing from around the world, and I thought it'd be really interesting to see what other people would like to kind of have, maybe as a sticker, maybe as a t-shirt, maybe on a mug. So yeah, we're running this contest. It ends in a week exactly, on the 31st of July, and the idea is that you can submit designs, original artwork inspired by Astro, and it'll end up, the selected products will end up being printed and produced and made real for people who want to order them. And of course, there's prizes. We're basically offering a pack of cool merchandise, including any designs that you made, and a limited edition backpack, which is, I think, as far as I know, most people have this backpack either because we've sent it to them as a special gift, or core team members get one when they become core maintainers. But it's a limited edition backpack, so that's the excitement involved there, as well as getting to see your own work come to life and contribute to Astro as a community. So yeah, we're looking for designs on t-shirts, hoodies, stickers, and interestingly a mug, which we don't actually have any mugs for sale at the moment. So I think it'll be cool if we could get one of those in the shop. All right, let me quickly check in chat. People waving to say hi. Great. Oh, and Sarah's shared a link. I should also drop the link in Discord, probably. Not already there. Let me see. Yeah, this is the contest page, and the shop's link there as well. All right, so I thought what could be fun to do today is to take a look at kind of what goes into making a design. Take a look at the templates that we have for people who are kind of, you don't have to use the templates, by the way. Templates are kind of useful guidance, but they're not not required or anything. So we've got templates in here, and yeah, all the other information. And if you actually want to submit something as a Google form, you click on here and it'll go off to Google. But yeah, I thought we'd grab the templates, and I was particularly interested, maybe we do this live on stream now, is taking a look at the mug, just because, like I said, we haven't got a mug at the moment. It's not something I've worked on yet. I worked on most of the designs that are currently in the shop, and so I spent a lot of time thinking about, like, okay, how do you make a t-shirt? How do you position things? What looks good, printed and stuff? Similarly for the stickers and the hoodies, but yeah, I haven't really spent a lot of time thinking about the mug, so I thought it'd be fun to kind of do that live with you and take a look. So I've got a Figma. I'm going to do this in Figma today just because it's easy to do everything in Chrome, but obviously you can use whatever software you like. Whether you have a desktop app that you prefer, I don't know, a tablet app that you like drawing in. It doesn't really matter what people draw in, but yeah, I just thought I'd use Figma just because it's easy. I actually did a lot of the other designs we have in Figma, not everything, but a lot of them are done in Figma. And like I say, for purposes of the stream, makes it easy. I can share this one window, and We can use that. So yeah, I downloaded the templates quickly, and it's just a zip file with some images in there, and I can grab the mug image. I'm going to drop that into Figma so that we've got it here. And it should be, let me double check the sizes, but yeah, it's copied it into Figma exactly the right dimensions. So if I had to export an image at this dimensions, we'd have a good high resolution graphic to later use for print purposes. So that's what can be handy about using a template. So it's already got the dimensions ready for you. Otherwise, in our guidelines, you can come in, check the dimensions here in inches, convert those to centimeters or whatever you need, and then multiply those by whatever DPI you're going to be working at and that kind of thing. But if you're less familiar with working on print stuff, maybe you've done more web design work, that might be multiplying by 300 and all that kind of stuff maybe seem less familiar. So yeah, you can just grab the template and it's going to have the right dimensions. Yeah, so I also, just before we started the stream, I grabbed this blank image just from our fulfillment team. Like most of our products are printed through a service called Printful that provide a bunch of different blank products that you can customize. And so this is actually, I think I grabbed the wrong one now that I'm looking at this. I'm pretty sure that is not the 15-ounce mug that we were planning to, but we could print on several different mugs. They just have slightly different dimensions. So I printed one, I just picked one when we made the contest to simplify things rather than sharing, a bunch of very slightly different dimensions. But I think actually the 15-ounce one, yeah, it is slightly different. Let me grab that image. Not a big difference, but yeah, they've got like 3 different sizes. And so this is, I think, the smaller size. And this is the one we're actually going to be designing for. Doesn't matter too much. Anyway, grab the image, and I just wanted that because I wanted to sort of take a moment to think about like what it means to actually design for a physical object. Certainly I spend much more time working on the web as a medium. And when you work on the web, like it's all about the infinite canvas. You scroll wherever, and especially a lot of the thinking is, you're thinking about responsive design. How does stuff reflow, adapt to all kinds of viewports? You're not really in control of dimension, and it's just, 2-dimensional space. You're just, you're just working on a big rectangle usually, unless maybe you're on a Galaxy Fold or something. But yeah, most of the time there's not much 3-dimensionality in here. But so printing is a little bit different when you're making a product, because it's, I'm going to look at, so just to kick things off, we can see that this template here is sort of this long, wide rectangle. And so you could imagine, I don't know, what's a good example I can do quickly? Do a quick rectangle here. Resize this to the same size, roughly. There's in the chat, repping Galaxy Folds. What's this? Evil device shout out. Still think I should be able to expense a Galaxy Fold for web testing. Well, it's maybe a bit expensive. You should have a cheap, crappy phone for web testing, right? Not a, I don't know. Well, I have no idea what a Galaxy Fold costs, but I kind of think of it as a more expensive thing. Anyway, so yeah, imagine this is your canvas, and we're going to do something really dopey for a second. Like imagine you came in here, and we're like, I'm going to make a smiley face, right, on my mug. I'm going to do this in the most simple way possible. Okay, really dopey. Oops, what did I just do? Yeah. Oh, that's part of my ellipse. Damn it. Figma, you're being too clever. Okay, let me get, okay, I've got my ellipses. Now let me draw my smile. Okay, I'm just trying to make a point here, but like imagine we've got this smiley face here. Bump up that. And we were like, okay, we've made a really cool smiley face. But the thing about printing in the real world is that this canvas, which looks like a cool rectangle, isn't going to actually be visible at any point, because we're building or designing for this, which is 3D. And so you can imagine, right, if I were to print this on the mug and wrap it around in 3D here, then is this all going to play? Then you're only ever going to see, let's say, this, or maybe your maybe you're like, looking at front on, you're going to see this, and it's actually probably even less than that looking at this design here, right? Like it's quite skinny. So, maybe we're only ever going to see this. And so it's like, okay, I have my smile, but I can't really see the smile. Like it doesn't read. That's kind of scary. Yeah, I mean, just at the front, maybe that's a face, but yeah, I don't know. Faces are pretty good. We're very good at recognizing faces, so we'd probably be able to read it. But yeah, just to make the point that it's kind of interesting to design for a three-dimensional object because, okay, with a t-shirt, maybe you're more thinking about a canvas, but still with a t-shirt, you could have a print on the front and the back that kind of play with each other, but they're never visible at the same time. Or you could have something like that. Or, if you're designing stickers, maybe there could be fun games where you like stick them in different places on an object. Suddenly they kind of interplay. But yeah, anyway, so that's the first thing I was thinking about. Like, okay, how can we kind of play with the fact that the mug is three-dimensional? We're not going to see everything at the same time. So that's the first thing too. I'm bearing in mind as I think about how to design with this. Right, we can delete our silly smiley face that Sarah's scared of. All right, and start to think about this. Let me see if anything in chat. Anyone has ideas? Feel free to shout out if you have an idea. If you want to design along, I would definitely be interested to see what people come up with. Like I said, if you go to the contest page, you can grab the templates and just open them up in whichever bit of software you happen to like, and start doodling. We're only going to be doodling today. It's not like the goal is not necessarily to produce something we're going to send right to production. We just want to play around with ideas. I don't have the Figma file open for where like I did a lot of the work for the items we do have in the shop, but it's full of like total garbage, right? I have a sketch pad in there where I just, if I have an idea, I'm like, oh, would this work? And I do a little drawing somewhere and have a think about whether that would work. And a lot of the time it doesn't, but I tend to keep those because it's kind of fun to see them. And sometimes you had an idea and you forget about it and you come back to it and you can actually turn it into something more more useful. So yeah, don't be afraid to just doodle along. And I kind of would even enjoy. I think Sarah has a good example of. Wait, maybe I should find it. Actually, I can put it in this Figma as inspiration. Let me see if we can find it. Do you know where you shared your beautiful illustration, Sarah? Oh, I've got it. Oh. I'm assuming I'm allowed to share your artwork, Sarah. So this is Masterpiece. So in case anyone doesn't recognize this, this is the Expressive Code logo. So Expressive Code is an amazing library for Astro, which also included in Astro's Starlight template, and it basically takes care of making code snippets look amazing. So it comes with code copy, a bunch of code annotation tools. It's really great. And Hippo, the maintainer, made this lovely little logo, showing off kind of code snippet abstracted with a paintbrush to sort of symbolize the colorful ways in which you can customize and annotate your code. And Sarah, I think we can say, definitely did it justice. So yeah, like I say, definitely don't hesitate to share whatever. I actually, I have this idea in my head that it would be really fun to have like an Astro community sticker pack where everyone did bad designs, and it could be a really fun item to have like have a sticker from different community members, maybe people but they don't have to look good. They're just cool. Anyway, so that's Sarah's logo. Heidi is sharing the same picture meme. Yeah. All right. So, anyone have ideas for what we should stick on this mug? I think that we could definitely. One idea I've had is like, I've been playing with in my head is some kind of like flying through space idea, because we have this canvas and this sort of motion around the mug. There's some kind of sort of spiraling or kind of flying motif. Because yeah, we actually have some tips if you're looking for inspiration in our contest guidelines. We're like, okay, because it's hard sometimes, right? You don't really know where to start. You're trying to think of a design. And so we're like, okay, what's some common astro things? Like think about islands, astro islands, partial hydration, things like that. Ooh, Heidi is suggesting a meteor shower with a starlight in the middle. Very nice. What else do we have here? So yeah, astronauts. In fact, if you look at the shop itself, we have this. These stickers are incredible. They're actually designed by Nate, Astro co-maintainer. So yeah, these cute astronauts. That could be a really fun motif. Sarah's saying we don't have a lot of Starlight merch. That's true. Yeah, we don't. I think we just have, there's a little Starlight logo in this sticker pack. Is there another sticker pack with Starlight? No, the other stickers don't have it. Oh, and we have this crazy tee, which I think it's actually been selling pretty well. I think people quite enjoy this, which has these patches on the arms. So it's JS, HTML, CSS, and then, oh, it's kind of hard to see on that picture, but no, we do have, let me see if I can find a photo of like an actual physical one that someone bought and shared with us. But I'm gonna have to need a minute to find it. Let me see, where is it? Yes, okay, copy image. And bring that in here as well to show it off. Yeah, yeah, it has the, oh, that's really small. Boom. Looks like this. Slightly low res image, but yeah, we have this, your image looks a little bit below. It's okay, we don't need AI for that. Yeah, anyway, it has a Starlight logo on there, but that's about it. I think we have a couple items with Starlight logos on, but not much else. Yeah, all right. So we have a couple suggestions here. Meteor shower and starlight seems to be definitely a theme. I'm going to grab the template and duplicate it and make this a frame. Actually, I don't even know if we need the template underneath the design while we design in my case, but one of the useful things that you'll see on the template if you use it is this like cartoon mustache and eyes here, just helping to indicate kind of, you know, you can imagine we've got the, just a brush here, yeah, okay. You know, you can imagine when you're looking at the template, you've kind of got this, the mug handle like this. And so again, kind of thinking about our little experiment with the face earlier, it's showing that kind of this area would be a mug. You know, if we were to, those are the ears, yeah. Oh, yes, the ears of these faces. That would be our area of the mug, you know, and this would be part of the mug printed on. And so you wouldn't see both. So that's kind of the idea of the template, is trying to show off that, okay, that's the side of the mug you'd see when the handle's to the left, and this is the side of the mug, and this is the side of the mug you'd see when the handle's to the right. Yeah, so that's the general concept there. Oh, and Sarah's sharing another nice. Wait, I'll put it in the Figma as well, so that people can see it if they're watching on YouTube, because a lot of these people are sharing chat images in the Discord chat, which is at astro.build/chat for those people who don't know that. You can join us live there and chat along. Yeah, so that's I really like these patches. I think they look really nice, really fun. And I think I can't remember now the other one. I think they seem to be fairly consistent in the color distribution, but obviously because it's a tie-dye t-shirt, there is some variation in exactly how the colors come out. But I think most of them have, yeah, you can actually see in the mock-ups here that they're not identical, but similar to yours, the sort of mostly blue sleeve there with a pink splash. All right. Yeah, so I think I'll just get rid of the template inside this frame. Let's make this white. Oops. Yeah, that'll work. So we have our kind of canvas to go. And I was thinking, because we're doing this live, and I don't want to embarrass myself basically by drawing lots of terrible drawings necessarily immediately. I am going to cheat maybe a little bit. So I'm going to grab. Let's grab a couple things. I think I can. Do I have them here? If I go to assets, I think I can pull in the Starlight logo. Maybe. Nope, I can't. Okay, let me go find that in another Figma file somewhere. Starlight, where are you? Here we go. Okay. So paste this here so we have that to refer to. So that's the Starlight icon rather than the full logo. I guess we could take the full logo if we wanted to. And the other thing I was thinking of maybe using, although again it's cheating slightly because it's me just grabbing some ready-made assets, but obviously we do have these here. Houston, which is something that we don't really share publicly, the thing. So again, that's cheating because I guess most people wouldn't have access to these, but they can be maybe handy reference points. But I think one of the things I'd be really curious to see, in fact, we've already seen one from someone submitting. Is Lou here? Lou here? Lou here? Lou here? I don't think Lou's here. But yeah, we already have one submission from Lou with a kind of cool custom Houston. So seeing those kinds of things is really cool. Houston's the Astro mascot, and yeah, I think purveyor of joy generally. So what were the ideas here? We had, Heidi said meteor shower, I think. Meteor shower, yeah. So I might actually start by not even just doing the actual design just yet, but sort of thinking about how thick is this? Let's get this much chunkier. This. I'm going to use a chunky brush here. Yeah. Blue, something like that. Pale blue. I just want to kind of try to sort of think about how I might lay things out on here. Again, we're kind of thinking, keeping this in mind. We have these two halves. Maybe like thinking about motion. So I don't know. A meteor shower. A meteor shower is a bit tricky because if I think about it, I don't know, like a meteor shower is mostly what, down? Like this kind of way? Oh, that's, yeah. It's kind of, meteors would be kind of falling down, which I wonder how we can compose that on the full thing. Or I guess they could all be, we imagine like Starlight here as a sort of, ooh, Heidi's come up with another suggestion. A rocket with a window where you see Houston floating inside the rocket with gravity. Okay, I'm gonna have to need some advice on how to draw gravity, but yeah, that sounds cool. So yeah, what's he say? A rocket with a window where you see Houston floating inside the rocket with gravity and some stars in the distance. So are we seeing? Oh, the lack of gravity. Oh, even easier to draw. Nothing like drawing absence. I wonder if, so are we seeing this like inside the rocket looking out at the stars, or are we're kind of seeing a starscape with a rocket? So I don't know, like I don't know what this would look like. But this is now way too big. Also, I hate this brush. This is horrible. This one. So you're sort of like talking like, okay, we've got a rocket. I don't know, classic. God, that's like a banana more than a rocket, but we've got a rocket and like a window, and Houston's in here. Sarah's gonna get a stylus. That sounds great. Yeah, I'm using like a, what do you call it? Like a drawing tablet thing, which I find is, especially for just like quick sketching and stuff, is much nicer than trying to do this with a mouse. Otherwise, I might just do it on paper. But I actually thought about doing some stuff on paper to kind of get started today. But that I would have to have set up a video camera, and I was already going through enough hoops to set up Discord and streaming and OBS and all that stuff. And I thought, okay, video camera could be next time. All right, so I don't know. Is Heidi saying something like this? Like you have a rocket blasting off and then some gravity, lack of gravity. And stars. So we got. Yeah. I guess one thing to think about, if we sort of think about this as sort of two halves, then we're looking more at like, okay, well, we could do a rocket, but again, we could group this so that you on this, right? Okay, so I've got my rocket here that I can move around. We could sort of think about it in two halves as a composition. So like maybe if you're holding the mug in one direction, you can see the rocket blasting off, and that's Houston and some stars and stuff. And then we maybe have something else on the other side so that we show, yeah, so like when you're holding that mug the other direction, you're seeing some kind of other thing. Oh, the only other thing I'm wondering though, this is actually, yeah, this is great. I'm glad, because I had some ideas of what to do that I was maybe just going to run with. But now that we're like sort of brainstorming a different design, it's good because I'm now hitting sort of stuff I thought of but immediately forgotten about again. So we're going to print on a white mug, right? Looks like this. And the print is going to be kind of limited to some extent. We're not going to print on the handle. There's sort of little bits around the bottom we won't print on. And I think, if I remember correctly, there's like a gap around the handle in general. So you can kind of imagine the design sort of wraps around the mug, but there'll be a sort of margin where it's not possible to print, right? You can't, a bit like most printers can't print right up to the edge of the piece of paper. Similarly, this is not going to print all the way on every part of the mug. So that means, now I'm thinking about this design, right? Like if I were going to do this with stars and stuff, probably I'd be thinking like, okay, we're going to do it with stars and stuff. So bring this to black and have some stars, and these would be yellow or whatever. Right? Like I don't know, to speak really roughly, but that's not going to work so super well, because then we'd have this sort of black print with a white margin. But maybe. So again, these are all like, that's what I talk about, the difference between designing for the web and designing for a physical object, is you have to suddenly think about these limitations that, all right, we have other limitations when you're designing for a flexible two-dimensional software that will run on basically any device on the planet. That's already a good set of constraints to be dealing with. But yeah, we have like all entirely different ones here. So we know exactly what we're designing for, but it has these constraints that mean like, yeah, this could look really cool. I mean, right now it doesn't, right? It's a really crappy little rocket sketch, but we can't really do a field of sort of black sky with stars, because then it would look like this very clearly printed on black rectangle. So maybe we have to think about a way to do it that is going to work with a sort of mostly white background, but somehow still indicates it. Let me catch up on chat. So Kevin is saying, Rocket Man, yeah, Rocket Houston. IDU says, other part could be a rocket launch pad with some Houston workers working on it. That sounds fun. Yeah, I'm still wondering about this space thing. That's the only thing. Yeah, I mean, I think I had another. Oh yeah, the other design I kind of played with for a mug was kind of similar, where I really wanted to have. Let me bring this down. All this stuff. I really wanted to have like a mug where we could do like a play on Create Astro or something. Sarah's asking, is it possible to color the mug's handle, or will the handle always be white? In this case, it's a white mug. So yeah, the handle is white. Like I say, there'll be you can kind of imagine that this area around the bottom here would be white. There would be a white lip, something like like that up top here. Like this area will be white. So the area you actually print is only going to look like this, right? So if we just print it, like if we just designed it as a black rectangle, you would very clearly see the mug as being a white mug with a black label-like thing on it, which is, I mean, you know, fine in theory, but personally, I think it could look much cooler if we kind of design for the medium. So if you had, in some way, a way in which the, you know, either the design kind of fades out around the edges, right? Like you could have a design that's kind of more like this. Wait, let me get rid of the what I have. Those little things like this. Yeah, like imagine you have something a bit more graphic like this, that like that, then although it's still limited in the same way, because it's not just a rectangle, maybe that's a good solution actually in this case, because if we're looking kind of out at space, you know, maybe something kind of gloopy in terms of its outline could look okay, because it would sort of be, look, I don't know, like a universe or a cloud or something like that. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the basic kind of structure of the mug is going to be white. The inside is white, and our design can be any color. But then there's, you know, once we hit the limits, we can't go beyond them. So we've got to kind of design to some extent with that in mind. Think of how we can integrate that into a white background. So either by having, let's say, a white background in our own design that has elements in it, so that sort of seems to just integrate with what we have, or by having, like I say, maybe some kind of creative way of defining that border so that it doesn't feel like just cut off. I think that if you just had a black field, let's say, in a rectangle, then you kind of end up with that feeling of like, oh, well, it would have been so much nicer if that design went all the way up to the edge or whatever, or like was the same color as the rest of the mug, but there was a technical limitation. And so because of the technical limitation, that decision was made. And we're kind of maybe working to hide the technical limitation. More suggestions from chat. We could be inside the rocket looking out, so that the background is the inside of the ship, but don't listen to me. No, we'll listen to you. We can listen to you. Yeah, I mean, one thing is if you're inside, then yeah, we could kind of imagine. Let me start another canvas real quick, and here make this white again. Yeah, if you're inside, then maybe then we have more of the possibility to just kind of like the border that we have could be like the window or whatever, right? Maybe you have this kind of spaceship window. Yeah, some control panels or something. These are control panels. And a screen, or you know, like a screen or whatever, and then outside you'd have the planets and stars and whatnot. Just an astronaut floating by. So we could do that. I think it's a little bit tricky to do that and marry it again with this issue we have of it being a 3D object and only seeing half of it, right? So if we do this, something, you know, like this, I mean, this is not super, I drew this really quickly, so let's, you know, this is looking worse, but okay, maybe it will fill up the space a bit more like this, but still, you can kind of imagine that if I just take a quick rectangle here, right, fill this up, boom, right, like you're kind of, again, you're sort of, oops, looking at it like this, or maybe you're looking at this side, but if it's a sort of one piece window, then I think that would maybe feel a little unsatisfactory because you're not getting that full image of what is a sort of wider canvas. So I might think about that. So what let me catch up on chat again and remind myself. So I should probably actually copy paste suggestions into the Figma, because then I won't have to keep looking them up. Bigger. Okay, starlight emoji. doesn't copy over into Figma, but Starlight logo in the middle. And expand how to use detailed imagination here. Sarah's saying we could be inside. Rocket looking out. Okay, just so I have these noted down somewhere. Okay. So yeah, when I was sort of thinking about what we could do, I was thinking maybe one way to resolve this issue with the border and like how do you draw on a white background was kind of thinking of some kind of movement. So I keep imagining, actually this is not the only design I've worked on like this, but the other one I have is also not finished, so maybe this will end up similarly. But for some reason I keep imagining Houston. This Houston. See, that's what you can do. Bootleg Houston. Don't be afraid. As a kind of little flying dude, like they're kind of whizzing around the place. They're moving around, flying around your project, taking good care of you. I don't know, like I think maybe this is because Houston doesn't have, or in some of our emoji, Houston has hands. But for the most part doesn't. They kind of, and they don't have legs, obviously. They're sort of this little cube. And so you're thinking, okay, well, how does Houston get about? Probably doesn't roll, like it doesn't like roll down the stairs or whatever. It probably kind of hovers, and you can kind of, I don't know how big Houston is, but I don't think of them as huge. I think of them as kind of, I don't know, like a little hand-sized cube or something. And so they're sort of hovering over your shoulder and like whizzing around the room and coming back and talking to you. So I have this idea of this of like motion of Houston flying around. And so one thought I had, and I haven't like tried this at all, but that's why I thought I might bring in the those little Houston graphics, was that to imagine again, because we have this mug, right? We're going to divide it in half, more or less, depending on where you look at it. Have these multiple places, right? There's the halfway point, and then maybe if you're looking at it with the handle behind you, you're seeing this area, but otherwise you might be seeing this if you're just holding it, looking towards you, or you're seeing this. So I was thinking, like, how can we sort of deal with that, but still have some kind of connection between the two? And so that's where I thought, like, okay, you could have several Houstons on here, wherever they are. So that if you're looking at this from one side or the other, there's always a Houston, basically. Wherever you go, there's some Houstons, and there could be more than this. Maybe there'd be way more than this. Maybe they'd be different sizes. Whatever. And the idea would be that they're kind of whizzing around, like they're flying. And then maybe we can integrate a Starlight logo as well, like was suggested. Because I kind of feel like the Starlight logo. In fact, I don't think I can show it in the Figma, but do we have the? No, I don't think we have the animation anywhere easy to grab. But we have like an animated version of the Starlight logo where it rotates around. Do a poor person's version of it. Oops, no, I can't. Imagine that. Imagine that's it rotating. But yeah, so it kind of has this spinny, whizzy, fly around feeling as well. So maybe we could use that somehow. Oh, double checking on the dog as he gets up and stretches. Okay, so yeah, so that's what I was maybe thinking of as a way. Oops, I lost all my windows. Yeah. Maybe as a way of dealing with it. So, each of these would have some kind of motion trail, perhaps, that's kind of connecting them. And that would give us some sort of background texture on here. So it's not just it's not just the Houstons kind of floating in space, but because they're sort of whizzing around, we don't maybe need to draw a solid background on here. It would be much more just there. Yeah, like this kind of motion pattern on here. I don't know if that sounds appealing to people or not, but yeah, maybe have, can I draw the Starlight logo from memory? I don't think so. Oh boy. Something like this. Obviously massively squished. Kind of, something like that. Yeah. Hey dog, wait, 1 second. Oh, Sarah's found the, I think I can share this, right? I can get this in the Chrome tab. Here we go. Oh, but that's not the Starlight one. Okay, yeah, but you get the idea. Like these little spinning, actually the original version of this animation was a Starlight, Starlight one in the sense that it was a, I used it for a Starlight. I don't remember how many, let's say first 1,000 GitHub stars or whatever. And yeah, it's just the little star spinning around. That's a lot of scrolling, Sarah. It's okay if you don't find it. But yeah, that kind of idea, like these spinning, spinning Starlight. In fact, maybe even in the, actually that may be where it comes from. I can look on, wait, Starlight, product hunt. Is that gonna show up? Google, Google, Google. Astro. Oh yeah, wait, that was the next link, but yeah, here we go. Oh, actually, look at that little icon there. No, I do not want notifications. Whoever does. No, thank you. Yeah, so this little icon is the OG version of this made by Mark. There you go, this guy. So anyway, we also have a jumpy Houston there as a good example of that kind of energy that I'm talking about. All right. Okay. Is anyone, let me know in chat if anyone is drawing along. I know that Sarah threatened to get her stylus ready, so I'm hoping that Sarah is stylusing along, but I don't know if anyone else is. So if you are, say something. Heidi says, sadly I am. Don't be sad, I'm delighted. I'm absolutely delighted. All right, so maybe I'm gonna grab all of these. Let me just grab all of this. Oh no, that's, yeah, right, because that's how Figma works. Okay, that worked better. Okay, I'm gonna grab these, group them. Oh, this is, yeah, because the three, I'm gonna put you inside the frame, boom. Okay, so now I should be able to grab them, group them properly, and I'm gonna bring the opacity down, just so I'm gonna use these basically as a, what would you call it? Like a guide, basically. This is kind of, I'm not sure, I'm not saying I'm happy necessarily exactly with this composition, but sort of as a rough idea, I want to put this right in the middle. As a rough idea of kind of how I might lay things out, I'm going to just sort of have those there in the background, but I'm not actually, you know, I'll end up deleting them or hiding them completely eventually, but for now, I'm just going to do. And I might start, like I said, because we're on stream and I don't want this to go on for like 500 hours, I'm gonna cheat a little bit and use some of our ready-made Houstons, just because that'll, you know, speed things up and we can sort of start to get a feel for what it might look like. Ooh, Sarah's got, wait, I have to share Sarah's work in progress. This is Houston in the rocket, very nice. And a Starlight logo. It's better than my Starlight logo, I have to say. Like, look at this. It's the right color to start with, and definitely recognizable. But we should put this up here in the, this is turning into the Sarah gallery, but hopefully someone else will contribute soon. You really need to sign this, right, Sarah? You need to. We won't ask you to age it like you would for a child. Okay, so yeah, I was just thinking I'm gonna be a little cheat just a little bit, and drop in some Houstons as a kind of way to get us going quickly. Good. Kevin says I'm inspiring them to enter the contest. That is literally the intention. I want people to enter the contest. I think it's going to be really fun. People should not feel afraid about entering the contest. Like, it's not about you producing the most beautiful design ever known to humanity. Lord knows none of our existing designs would meet that criteria. You know, I am not a designer. I am a random person who you know, wanted to get this together, and most of this is quite simple, but you know, we do have a couple things like this, which are a little bit more designed, a little bit more kind of add some illustrated, but even this, like this design, like the elements are actually pretty simple. Like most of it's text, right? This is text. All of the little kind of zoom in a bit maybe so we can see that better. Yeah, like these little elements here, the sort of stars and things are also just text, like they're from the same alphabet or the same font as I used for the Japanese text. It's a free font, if I remember correctly. It's you know, Google font. I did spend some time like mimicking the outline effect that this font face has on the Astro logo, so that you know, took a little bit of time to kind of basically create a shadow that we and then fill in some gaps to give that 3D effect. But it's mostly just a kind of boring thing of lining up paths correctly. It's a grid. It's a bunch of Houstons, a little bit more text at the bottom. It's, you know, like the actual components are not mega complex to do. I didn't have to draw anything particularly, but I think it kind of comes off nicely. So yeah, it doesn't have to be that. And obviously, yeah, even the beach towel, let's say, like this is real dumb, but it's it's just some stripes with some Houstons, and I guess you're kind of seeing my trick here, and I've grabbed Houston again. It's the easy way to go, but if you're trying to do something quickly, it does work. So yeah, bringing in this guy in, some heart eyes, Houston love. Definitely want oh my god Houston in here. But yeah, so long story short, definitely feel inspired, definitely feel like you can and not have permission to enter. It's really not about, again, it's not really about us kind of expecting, I don't know, a bunch of professional designers to want to spend their time making professional designs for an Astro backpack, because let's be honest, if you're a professional designer, I mean, you know, you have better ways of actually spending your professional time. You're gonna be doing that for your job. You're not gonna necessarily want to do that for free or for fun or for a backpack. Whereas here we're looking at people who are, you know, part of the community and want to kind of express how they see Astro, how they think about the kind of I don't even know how to describe it, but like the vibe that Astro has, because I think that's one of the things that I love so much about Astro is the sort of the friendliness, the welcomingness, the positivity that is around the community, and that's also part of how we try to kind of design for Astros. Like when we come up with graphics, we're thinking about like, how do we convey those kind of positive feelings that we have about Astro, and maybe it's the space themes, the exploration themes, those kinds of things. They can all be like part of the fun of being in the Astro community, and so like trying to convey that in the design is fun, and it doesn't have to be because you're the best designer, just because you have that understanding of Astro and know how to express it. Upside down Houston in here. This can be a little smaller. Oop. A little upside down Houston in here. might bring this one out just a little more. I'm trying to think. Okay, so you've got this guy coming up kind of through along these lines, and then you're going to have the handle. So actually I might move this one in just so we've got a bit of kind of difference as we approach the handle. And we do want to have that Starlight logo in here somewhere, right? That was an idea. It's a little bit different aesthetic, the Starlight logo, so maybe, no, we have to do some work to kind of make that really fit in, but put this somewhere. I mean, initially I had it here, but I actually think maybe rather than having that many Houstons, you can do something like this. Almost feeling like now that I'm seeing this, and this is absolutely the wrong software I think for me to try and do this in, because Figma is really, I mean, they've started to add these slightly more creative tools like the drawing and the brushes and stuff, but it's still not really like an illustration software, right? It's what it is. It came out as a web design tool, and then they've started to kind of add these slightly more creative things on top, but it's still basically a web design tool, so it has that kind of backbone to it. But you know, I'm thinking, looking at this, that it would be kind of cool to start to give a slight 3D treatment to them, so to skew some of these kind of in perspective, and maybe you'd see a kind of side and a bottom to a Houston here. And I'm definitely not going to be able to get that working nicely in Figma, I don't think, because Figma does not even have skew as like one of the available transforms. All you can do is, you know, rotate and scale things. So you could try and fake skew somehow like this, but that's definitely not right. So yeah, I'd want to maybe, you know, redraw Houston from the start to like get that 3D effect, but won't do that for now. But it could be cool, like if we had a more idea of this was like really a 3D scene with these different like depths of field. This Houston's not actually smaller, he's just further away, that kind of thing. Maybe I make this one bigger, a little bit more contrast. Bring it up a bit. Let's see. Come up as well. I'm trying to create some kind of rhythm in the composition, so that each of these fields that we see, whether it's the right-hand side with these 3 Houstons, or it's the left-hand side with these couple and the Starlight logo, like they each have a kind of nice sort of balance between where they're located in relation to the space, but also in relation to each other. But then also, in theory, also a little bit kind of keeping an eye on the whole composition of the whole width, like all the way across, even though that's never going to be seen. But you know, you could hold the mug in your hand and rotate it. So, you know, want a kind of nice feeling of, if you do that, you know, maybe that you kind of feel that movement coming through here as you rotate it in your hand. Maybe, I don't know, something like that. I'm making this up as I go along, in case it sounds like I know what I'm talking about. All right. We've got some here. I might actually, oh, we've got another design coming in from the chat. Sarah's been hard at it. Sarah says, I couldn't figure out how to make this work. Coffee, rise and shine, but this is one of my earlier ideas. So let's add it to the gallery. Sarah, how are you actually, do you want to come, Mike? Maybe you can tell us how you're going about doing these. If you can, obviously. If you can't, oh yeah, there. Hey, Sarah.
Oh, I think I can. Hi, everybody. I'm just doing this on my Galaxy Note. Oh wait, it's not a Note anymore. It's the S23 Ultra, which has the stylus. But yeah, no, I'm just doing these in Samsung Notes on my phone. Oh, if I were smart, I'd be doing this on a tablet. It might be a bit easier, but I've just been sketching on my phone.
Nice. And that allows you, could you move it to the tablet? Like, could you take your note and like keep working on the tablet or something?
Yes. Yeah. Because it's also a Samsung tablet.
Cool. I think it'd be cool to to try. I don't have a tablet, so I haven't ever tried, but I think it could be fun to try. I have this very old, what do I call it? Like a drawing. They have a name.
Like a Syntec or a Wacom or
It's a
something?
Wacom tablet. I think they're also called tablets, but obviously it's not a tablet in that sense. It doesn't have a screen, right? It's just it's like a sheet of plastic that you can draw on with a stylus.
Yeah.
Um, and it's fine. Like these scribbles I've been doing here, it's how I did them. But because you're drawing on one surface and then it appears somewhere else, like it's appearing on the screen. There's this sort of I've never found that very comfortable. Like when I first had one of these, I don't know, like 20 years ago or whatever it was, though there weren't really like a screen tablet which you could draw directly on. I mean, they probably existed in like, they probably cost like, $20,000, and if you worked at Disney or something, you could have one of those in your workspace. But as a like average person who just wanted to like draw a little bit, that just didn't exist. So obviously with iPads and everything that changed. But yeah, so
Yeah.
like that
I mean,
disconnect is for me a bit difficult to work with.
clearly I could not handle that disconnect. This is about as good as I can do when I have the screen. But 20 years ago, I was using tablet PCs. So before there was any concept of an iPad or a tablet or anything like that, they were Windows machines with touch screens and styluses, because that's how I used to I tutored math, and we would write all our notes on that. And then I could just email them their notes. So there was no excuse that it got crumpled in the bottom of their backpack or they lost their notes. Um, yeah, so I was doing that 20 years ago. Yeah, absolutely.
And when you say
Um,
PC, does that mean
but
it's like a
they,
desktop computer, but still
it was a
somehow?
laptop,
Hmm.
a laptop. Yeah, I'll find an image and drop them in chat. I had two or three different ones actually at the time. Yeah, they were great, except that they ran Windows. But yeah, yeah. So that was when my last few years of tutoring. That was my main laptop, were tablet PCs. And sure, they were a bit more expensive than like normal laptops, but I mean um, they weren't so out of uh, out of price range that a normal person couldn't buy them. But there were very few apps that made use of it. That was the thing, is that there was Windows Journal was the app, and that was basically the drawing app that you had. But I loved them. I did all my math stuff like on a tablet.
Maybe we need
So
the.
that's why I became like a Galaxy Note user. I didn't even have a smartphone until the first Samsung Note came out. Like, why do I even want this? And as soon as I saw a stylus, that's like, I'm in, I'm locked in. I am Samsung for life with this S Pen.
Oh wow. Yeah, maybe we need a Sarah marks your Astro homework mug or T-shirt or something.
All right, I'll let you keep going. I won't distract you anymore with
No, that's good. That's
stylus
good.
nostalgia, but I'll find a photo of it and I'll drop it in chat.
Yeah, yeah. I'd be curious to hear how other people tackle these kinds of things as well, because I think if you're not doing this all the time, which is my case too, you're unlikely to have lots of specialist equipment or software necessarily, but you've got to figure out your own tools. So yeah. All right. So what do I want to do? I don't think I've even ever used this one. This work. Oh, it's just a normal pen tool. Okay, I get it. Yeah, so I'm gonna maybe start to think about this background here somehow. Actually, maybe the pen is more useful here because although I could brush them in again like I did for the kind of quick layout I did here, but I think I want to have a bit more control in that. Maybe we can try and get like a slightly more go for this purple, slightly more established kind of definite lines rather than these quick sketches with the brush, and then maybe I'll edit them with a pen. But I think this space here, for example, actually, I don't know. I'm guessing me double check here. So on YouTube, you can see my cursor, right? You can see my cursor. Yeah, you can see my cursor in Discord too. Okay, so you can see me waving my hand around. So I think, oh, but the cursor is in the wrong place. Or is that me? Oh no, I'm just confusing myself because it's backwards in Discord. Okay, we're good. So yeah, you can see my cursor there. So yeah, this space here, I feel like because we don't have any Houstons in there, I kind of want some kind of shape going through it. So I might think about a shape kind of coming up from Houston, and this is going to be Heidi is grabbing some Houstons from. Right now, these are like on top of Houston, but I'll switch them around to be underneath in a second. Actually, no, that doesn't make sense. What am I doing? I'm going to take one like a little bit wider. I want it to kind of thin out because it's sort of maybe even a little bit more extreme. Almost like this is kind of going out into the distance. And ignore the bit that's coming over Houston. Like I say, I'm going to hide this in a second. And then I think similar idea here. I might grab this one and bring it down. Or maybe not to this one, because then we'd have like a kind of loop. And I don't know if I want that. And maybe I can do something more extreme, like bring it right through here. Not quite what I wanted. There you go. Something like this. Oh, and Sarah is sharing in chat her ancient tab. Whoa, it comes apart. Okay, wait, let me share it here. Ancient tablet computer. 14 inches. It looks like it's the picture here just looks like it's broken, right? Like it looks like a laptop that fell apart.
Yeah, it was actually a really cool hinge. So imagine using it in laptop form, and then it spins on that hinge so that you can then lay it flat.
And
And
that
the
didn't
back of the
break
screen
ever?
would cover the keyboard. No, no,
Wow.
nope. So it was, you could open it up and down like a normal laptop, and then you could spin the screen around on that hinge. So you spin it, and then you'd put it flat again, and you'd have, it was very thick and very heavy, but then you'd have just the tablet facing you, and the keys would be protected because they'd be underneath.
Nice. Yeah, so you basically have like a very heavy iPad at that point. All right. Okay, so we've got that guy's got some patterns going on. I don't know. And then maybe kind of fill in the space underneath. Maybe I'll have one that kind of swoops around the curve of the mug. So yeah, as you do turn it, it kind of links up to Houston. Oops, Houston over here. Where'd we go? Oh, where's my canvas? Here we go. Here we go. Here somehow. So I'm gonna do something like this. I want to come always to the bottom, or do I? No, I think I like the one line that comes in here. Slightly to the side. No, I want it by higher. Yeah. And again, I think I'm just going to sketch these in a little bit more definitively, and then I might actually redraw them again with a pen. So sometimes it's like, slightly repetitive work, but all right. So what are we doing on this side? Person swooping in from the I don't know, something like this. I had this kind of one going up over here, but I think it makes more sense again, kind of imagining Houston sort of zooming up, sort of guided by the corners. This, kind of thinking like this. And a big picture. Starlight one's interesting because it's not as clear, right? We have on Houston, I can grab the, these and not those two. So grab these and I can move them now down a layer. That's actually one thing that I guess there's ways to do it, but again, because Figma is not designed for this, like if I was using Illustrator or something, I could have moved some of these up a layer and locked them so that I can draw directly underneath them rather than having to kind of faff around. But yeah, I'm less clear about how the Starlight logo moves, because here, like I say, you can kind of come from one of these edges here, like the corner of Houston, oops, and pull and kind of imagine the movement coming from the corners. But because the Starlight logo is not boxed like that, it's a little less obvious. And also we were kind of thinking of it maybe spinning or something rather than swooping in like that. But or maybe it doesn't have to have one of these things at all, actually. It can just be a little bigger, and it can just sort of nestle in amongst the other swoops. I don't know, let's see. There's only one way to find out, and that's to start actually drawing. So I'm going to switch back to my pen tool, just because that's going to allow me to draw some really smooth curves rather than the sort of more organic brush ones. Because I do think I want these to be slightly abstract kind of in the background, and I can imagine maybe filling them in with some color gradients or something. So imagining it kind of like, okay, let's see. Oh, we're going to curve maybe coming out this. No, we need to come up earlier. Have a few more control points. Here we go. I probably want to have to adjust it, but just to get something laid in. Bring in these curves. I think we can come down, right? Like that. And we'll see how it looks. And that allows me to then, instead of having that with a stroke, we can fill this. I'll grab that same purple for now. Like Houston has a big hat, but we can drop that down below Houston. Might just hide these ones so I can see the curves all right. Sarah's saying, it seems a shame that the person least capable of drawing has always had very elaborate drawing options. I mean, you could have been learning to to make use of your options. There's still time. So yeah, so here I'm just kind of looking at the shape and adjusting it a little bit, so I feel like those curves feel sort of smooth to me. There's no real rules here. I kind of feel like this hump is slightly off. Might just put this one down shorter. Want to cross a tiny bit. Still not perfect. I feel like this should be. And then come in. That's okay. And then maybe eventually, once we're done, I'm kind of thinking, yeah, to come up with some kind of gradient on here. Maybe we'd have some, I don't know. A little bit tricky to get a gradient. Again, unless I'm mistaken, no, yeah. Like in some drawing tools, you can have kind of a gradient along a curve kind of thing. But again, that's not. Figma is targeting like what's possible with CSS for the most part. So that's kind of what we would do here. But yeah, I mean, the colors are probably not quite what we go for in the end. But yeah, that's kind of the idea I'm going for, is to have some sort of pattern in the background along these lines. And then once that's all filled in, maybe I'd come in as well and do like, maybe there'd be some blobs that we'd fill in as well. Is there a way to Figma have like a join paths tool so that I can make this a fillable thing? How do you switch I'm still not really used to the new stroke options they have on here. Brush. No, I don't want to brush. I just want to. It's somewhere in here. There's a way to basically switch between the different kind. Oh, here we go. They have this dynamic one, and then they have the basic one, which is all I want here for now. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not very happy with this shape, but probably maybe just go for at this point. go for a little ellipse tool here, and then fill this up with a similar color. You know, maybe there'd be some kind of blobs in and around that we could use to add a bit of interest. You know, probably easier just to draw an ellipse and then slightly distort it. You know, that kind of thing. Almost more than trying to draw one. Something like that, so it looks a bit more blobby. So there might be something like this in amongst my various swooshes. So try and do this one next, maybe. So this is again kind of come kind of from the corner here. A couple of people typing in chat. Let me know what you're thinking. And this one, I think, I just taper right to a tip here. Not 100% sure, but let's try that out. Gonna be enough. And fill with our purple again. No, not stroke. We want to fill. And hide that group again. Down, so it's underneath. And I think, yeah, having it underneath this other one as well, so it kind of passes underneath. This is, so you can see, like, once I have the curves in and filled, I can see more clearly that it's kind of a problem with the shape in one place or other. Like this kind of comes in and then goes flat, which doesn't feel great to me. Bring this over a bit more. Change the angle a little bit. Go. Over slightly. I don't know, something like that. And maybe here, let me see. Oh, this is going to be even harder to fill with a gradient because we kind of want the gradient to go all the way around this curve, but can't easily do that because the circle. Ooh, got a cool sketch in chat. Very nice. Add it to our gallery up here from Jason. Thank you. Oops, lost it. So here we have a very, I guess it's going so fast, this Astro logo, that it's kind of stretched out, this rocket. And yeah, cool little sketch with some astronauts hanging out in a hammock on an island. Is that, oh, it's just one astronaut, right? For a second I thought it was like a couple people sat here, but that's the feet, right? That's the feet. And this little astronaut backpack and helmet. Good little moon craters on the surface of this moon here. Some palm trees hanging out on their Astro Island. Great work, Jason. Very nice. Yeah, that's, I mean, you said not what we're talking about, but definitely along the lines. Like I said, we've got these guidelines here, right? Astronauts, islands, definitely on theme. I guess mine's kind of Houston exploring new worlds, even if the world is a mug or not very well defined, but that's fine. Yeah, nice work at this. So where was I? Okay, yeah, so I was going to try and taper this out. I was thinking it would be cool to like fade it out, but it's not super easy to do because I can't just like stick a, you know, imagine like make this this one transparent, because, and then say like, okay, I want transparent tip, but, oh, actually, oh, it does work. Because we're linear, yeah, and we can just sort of do it from the, yeah, okay, nice. That's pretty good. And maybe that we want, let's have this a little darker. No, actually it's nicer not to. Something like maybe a little color tone variation in there as well. Go a bit blue as it fades, or red as it fades. Yeah. Pink and red is kind of nice. Okay, so we've got a little accent there, and I think I want to make it the purple as well, just a notch closer to this purple here. Oh, that's maybe too far. It's purple. What's that? Yeah, something in between. Oh, Heidi's got a sketch as well. There we go. Something like this. Let's check this out. Heidi says, that's it. We have definitive proof that, wait, let me paste it here so people can see it first. Here we go. Here's Houston working out, launching rockets. Wait, why is this Houston is not happy about being fired into orbit? Heidi says, we have definitive proof that I should not try to draw anything and stick to code. Maybe you need to think about doing some generative code generated graphics. That could be cool. Kevin says that this Houston has been sentenced to space. Poor Houston, banished. This is evil Houston's origin story. I have evil Houston here somewhere to grab. Go. Evil Houston. And this Houston is very happy to wave evil Houston goodbye. But yeah, hopefully they're okay with being shot off into the universe. Thanks, Heidi. Ooh, Sarah's going with the swirly background Houston's theme. I'm going to guess that this is kind of long and vertical because of the phone screen being long and vertical more than, but we could imagine this being like that on the mug, although then the Houstons are kind of sideways, but you do it like that, maybe the finger guns are coming up at you when you as you drink. Hey, Matthew's joining us with good Matthew's in chat posting a sipping a mug emoji, so that's appropriate because we've been looking at the finger guns summit, Matthew. That's right. There's your new emoji in the where is it? There we go. Oh, I rotated it, but ta-da-da. Don't think you'd ever dreamed of seeing one this good. So yeah, we've been actually looking at making maybe some kind of mug design, kind of playing around with it anyway, for the shop contest. For those just joining us, so this is the page on the Astro Shop with the details about the contest for anyone who's curious to kind of read up about it or maybe get involved. And to kind of mark the fact that it's just 1 week until submissions close, we have the deadline on the 31st of July. We thought it'd be fun to do this so live on stream. So yeah, we talked about some of the challenges of designing for a mug. Started to kind of like brainstorm stuff. Anyway, so I've been working on this kind of idea of maybe having a bunch of Houstons swooping around on the mug, so that as you kind of come around the curve of a mug, you reveal different Houstons, and there's kind of some on each side. So yeah, that's what we're doing. So I've got these couple of sweeps. I'm pretty happy with this, actually, the way this kind of fades out. Maybe I want this one to, now that I've seen that this one works like this, maybe I want this one to fade out too. And then we're going to have to bring the parent part here. And maybe make this linear after all as well. Oops, that shot that out over here for some reason. And then we have the same thing of like here, where I kind of like that as we introduce this thing where as it fades out, we introduce a little bit color shift as well, so that it doesn't, it's not just the opacity changing, you kind of have that feeling of a kind of change of warmth. Kind of feels nice. So Matthew is suggesting, I don't know if I can, do I have the, because I don't have Discord on the screen. I'm trying to think if I have Matthew's shared Squooshton, which, do we have Squooshton in a file that I can copy from? I don't think so. Oh yes, I do, here we go. Exploding head Houston. Do we have exploding head Houston? I don't think we do, actually. Right? There isn't an exploding head Houston. No, I don't think so. There should be, maybe. So this is Squooshton. I've forgotten the origin story behind Squooshton. Why did... there was definitely something we produced. Maybe it's our, I don't have a quick way to share this, but we have key rings. Yeah, exactly. Sarah's mentioned the keychains. And we did a really cool meetup in Montreal last year. And as part of that, we made keychains as part of little swag packs for attendees. And the company that was making the keychains, I guess, only had certain shapes that they could do at the do quickly on demand, like with the turnaround we needed. And so we couldn't just say like, okay, it needs to be a rectangle the shape of Houston's head. We had to like fit in with whichever rectangle form they had, which was a lot longer and thinner than Houston is. So yeah, we got them. They look cool, but Houston is definitely a bit squished. So maybe that's the origin of Squooshton. So Matthew was suggesting having a mug where you drink out of Houston's head. You kind of need like one of those. I feel like you get these, right? Like, yeah. That's the kind of thing, right? You have like Mr. Potato Head mug like this, a Houston version of this where it's kind of a little bit more sculpted. There's a grommet head. I know, yeah. That would be really cool. I don't think we can do that with our print-on-demand shop, but could definitely be fun. I guess you probably shouldn't drink out of 3D printed material, but if you could, maybe someone with a 3D printer could sculpt a Houston mug like that. Or maybe someone's really good at ceramics or something, does pottery classes. I guess it's not the most complicated shape. You just have to get the colors and stuff right. We do, and Sarah's shared a picture of the keyring. Yeah. So yeah, that's what it looked like. Definitely a little more elongated than the genuine Houston dimensions. He'd probably come up like a little bit higher, but that's Houston, and that's Squooshton. And actually, Squooshton is kind of, I don't know. Again, maybe Sarah, you seem to be good at hunting down pictures, but somewhere we have pictures of a mock-up we made of a pillow for Houston, and similar issue. Like, if you don't want my drawings, you definitely don't want my 3D stuff. Yeah, we had like the idea of a like it would be cool to have. Well, I mean, initially we were like, hey, wouldn't it be cool to have like a Houston plushie? It's, Houston's not a particularly complex shape. It's basically a cube, so it shouldn't be too difficult to make. But it's still not super easy to just manufacture custom plushies. You normally need like pretty big minimum orders and stuff. So we've never gone ahead and done that. But we did see the possibility of making a Houston pillow a little bit more easily, because again, I think for most people when they think plushie, they wouldn't think pillow because that's not the shape of whatever, their mascot or whatever. But in our case, Houston's kind of pillow shaped. So so we were thinking of like, oh, maybe we can turn it into a pillow. So we have some mock-up somewhere that I think Sarah's going to dig up. But yeah, again, because of I guess the manufacturer produces the pillow in certain dimensions, so we didn't have total control over the dimensions. So again, a slightly squished Houston. Jeffrey is asking, where is Houston coming from anyway? Do you mean in the design here, or do you mean like conceptually? Oh, you shared the, yeah, I can grab a screenshot of the video, right? See if I can capture it in a good moment. That'll do. Just because I don't think I can paste the video in Figma. There you go. I think if I worked on this a bit more, I want to adjust the face to be slightly smaller, so you get a little bit more of the blue outline, even when you're at an angle. But yeah, basically it's two-sided actually. If you join us in Discord chat, Sarah has a video you can check out, and on the back side there is Houston crying, so you can flip him between happy and sad. Okay, so to answer Jeffrey's idea or question, sorry, about the concept of Houston. I mean, Houston was invented basically by Nate. Nate is an Astro core maintainer, and I don't think I'm totally wrong there. Although it kind of plenty of different people went into it, because initially Nate had the idea of I guess I don't have a really quick way to show the create Astro CLI, but oops, not Astro, create Astro. Yeah, we don't really have it in the docs at all. But if you run, I think most people at this point are hopefully familiar with running create Astro to create a new project. And Nate's always been really interested in CLI design. In fact, he's working on Bombshell at the moment, which is a bunch of kind of CLI utils. Oh yes, nice. So Jan has shared a screenshot of Create Astro. So this is the screen you get if you open up your terminal window and want to start a new Astro project. You type Create Astro, npm Create Astro, or pnpm or yarn or whatever, and you get this interactive UI basically, where you can choose, okay, put my new project in this folder and stuff. And when Nate was working on making this as beautiful as possible, and put a lot of care into like the little labels, we have a kind of little loading bar that happens when anything that takes time is going on, like installing dependencies or downloading a template or something. And I think at that point, Nate had this idea, is like, okay, well, you're in your terminal and you're kind of interacting with Astro as a sort of tool. And it would be fun to have this little mascot that would pop up and say, and kind of talk to you. So here you can say, here's Houston, shows up, says time to build a new website. At different points of the journey, Houston speaks to you and like says, hey, Jeffrey, or like whatever, hey, Jan, and maybe says, at the end, I think they say like, good luck out there, astronaut. So Houston kind of talks to you through the process as a little way of adding a little bit of fun into the, normally these scaffolding tools just go like, where should I put this thing? Okay, done that, done this, done that. And there's not like that much personality. It's just about getting some tasks done. And this gets the task done, but the idea was like, okay, we're going to check some fun. And so then I guess that's the origin of Houston, is literally like, what kind of face can we make with ASCII characters? Because obviously this is just in a terminal. We're just thinking about how can we draw a face. There's no images here, right? We can't like have vectors or shapes, all that stuff. We just got to deal with ASCII art characters. So, box drawing characters and what's available. So that's the sort of origin story of like why Houston looks a bit like this. And then a few years ago, when we were doing a kind of branding exercise, we did a redesign of our logo, kind of worked with an agency to help us sort of develop some of the more graphic elements of of what Astro looks like. So a lot of the grainy textures you'll see, things like that. We kind of talked to them about Houston, who's mostly just existed in the CLI at this point. Obviously, the name is kind of tipping the hat to just kind of space and space exploration with the Houston, we have a problem. So the idea that Houston is what you speak to kind of try and troubleshoot or whatever. And at that point, when we were doing the branding stuff, we kind of fleshed out the like, let's say the high fidelity version of Houston. So once you get away from the little ASCII art, I guess I took the like default happy Houston here. This is a one-to-one inspired by this, and yeah, so that's the kind of origin story. I mean, just started off as like, what faces can you make with ASCII art? And okay, now we need a name. Give it a name. It starts to have a life of its own. Yeah, once we started to work on kind of other branding things, brought them to life and gave them this sort of gradient outline, which fits in with other colors we like to use, the sort of bright, vibrant, fun colors. So yeah, that's the origin story. Matthew is saying, here's the Houston mug, rough version. So it's the right proportions. And it's a little bit scary, but yeah, is that the right proportions? It could be high. It doesn't have to be quite that stretched. It could be taller to fit into the template here, right? It could be. But yeah, definitely scary. Yeah, no problem. Happy to share the Houston lore, as Jan likes to call it. Jan is sharing headcanon about Houston, saying that they are 4D gnomes that live inside your Astro site, and each site is an entirely self-sufficient society. Wow. So there are multiple Houstons per site. Okay. Yeah. All right. So we're definitely not going to finish this on stream, but maybe I'll do one more swoosh in here to as we're chatting. Let me see. Where's my guides? Here we go. So I was going to have one that comes in kind of up here. So something like that. Oops, that's way lower than I was intending. Like this. And then again, gonna get rid of the stroke, add a fill. Grab one of these purples. Move it down a layer so it's underneath my Houston here. Out a little bit. And then this linear so that we can fade it out again. Oops, definitely don't want it. Yeah, I want it like this. And I have this be this purple again. Bring it up a little pinkish towards it
So
fades.
just while Chris is drawing and filling some stuff in, I know if you're on YouTube, you can't see the chat going on in Discord, but all these all these ideas, this is exactly what we want you to submit to the design contest. As
Yes.
Chris had said before, um, they, don't worry, none of mine will be there, but they don't
Why
have
not?
to be anything special. They don't have to be anything out of the ordinary. When Matthew threw his super long Houston to just stretch out across the whole mug, he said, "Oh, I don't know if that's the right proportions. I just squished him." And I said in the chat, the link to the design contest, you will find the dimensions, you will find the templates to use. Just whip it up properly and submit it. Right? These are the things that we want to see. We're having a whole bunch of fun just looking at people's ideas and ripping off everything. This is why we chose to do this stream today for this thread, is we want you to see how it's not that complicated, and we're not expecting super much. But if you just want to have fun with Houston, with Starlight, with the space theme, with anything like that, then throw something together. The link has all the technical details you'll need, like dimensions and a template or whatever. But we hoped that just doing this in front of you, you'd see what it looks like and you'd be inspired to try something.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
now back to
No, that's absolutely well said. And I also think like, oh, I've lost my train of thought. I was gonna, wait, Lou is here. Hey, Lou. Glad you can make it. What was I gonna say? Oh, I have all my best ideas while you're talking, Sarah. You should keep going.
Oh no, you were probably going to ask me to create and submit more things. Personally, me personally.
Absolutely.
You haven't seen enough from me.
Yeah. Do we need to do the tour of the Sarah gallery? Oh, this is not Sarah, and this is not Sarah. So yeah, only 3 out of 5 here is
So,
Sarah. Oh, and I got rid of
yeah.
we got rid of Matthew's stretched stretched Houston. I
Well, because we
will.
want to keep it sort of secret, because Matthew's gonna do that properly, and then he's gonna submit
Oh,
it,
okay,
right? So
okay. Well, I'll get rid
yeah,
of it.
that's gonna be Matthew's submission.
Yeah, it just needs a not a Houston that's larger than 10 pixels by 10 pixels. Um,
But yeah, if you go to, well, you can just head over to the shop and you could look at some of the merch that's already there and see if there's anything that you like. And if there isn't something, if you think something's missing, that would be a perfect thing to throw throw a design in. If you go to the store, I think at the bottom, at least of the front page, probably every page, you'll find the link to the Spirit of Astro Design Contest. And again, it has all the rules. It has what we're looking for. It has what we need because of the products that we would like to put it on. Um, if you have a really wild idea, just drop it in there. It doesn't have to be, I mean, it can be out of the ordinary. It can be pretty basic. Maybe your favorite Houston from the Discord didn't make it onto any product. Um, so yeah, take a look at if you're in the Discord right now, take a look at your most used Houston emojis. Mine is always and has always been the sweat smile. And maybe that needs to be on a t-shirt or a mug. So it doesn't have to be super complicated. It doesn't have to be super fancy. Maybe there's yeah, maybe there's an astronaut theme that you just haven't seen represented. So take a look at the sticker packs that are there, because that's mostly where our astronaut theme stuff is Nate designed the holographic stickers, and maybe riff on that. It doesn't have to be super original, doesn't have to be super complicated, just whatever you think might look good on a product.
yeah, and like I said,
Was that enough
kind of
talking? Did you remember your idea?
yeah, I did. Very helpful.
Right.
Yeah, like I was kind of, I sort of touched on this earlier on, that part of the reason we wanted to do this is also that like every person here who's a member of the Astro community has their own idea of what Astro represents for them, like what the kind of, I mean, we called the competition the Spirit of Astro for this, because because the sort of feeling of the community is something quite special, and that is something that you don't necessarily get just by kind of looking at some brand assets, or kind of having read a page of the docs, or like whatever. You kind of get a feel for Astro as a community through all this other stuff, like through all of the kind of accumulated knowledge of using Astro, hanging out with the Astro team, and with everyone else in the community, and learning about the Houston lore, and like building up this knowledge. And so, but each of those things is going to be slightly different for for each and every one of us, we don't all have the same idea about what Astro means for us. Like maybe there's a specific meaning that that it has for you and how you kind of came at it, and you'd like to express that in some way. And so having a way for people to kind of share their personal feelings, I mean, not feelings in the sense of like how they kind of think about Astro, is really nice. You know, it's all very well. I can spend my time going in and like I made a bunch of products that are Astro. And like some of these are kind of like Sarah says, it's simple because it's like, well, people want a thing with the Astro logo on. Okay, we'll have a hat with an Astro logo on, because that's an obvious thing that people will want. But definitely the kind of more interesting things is like this is a weird hat, right? Like if you for most people, if you don't know about Astro, you'd be like, huh, why is this a smiley face on a hat? But if you're kind of involved in the community, it's like, oh, this is fun because we've kind of taken this black object and used these very, very minimal basic elements that represent Houston, just like the, did I delete? No, I don't, I still have it here. You know, like we talked about Houston's kind of origin is being kind of built up from these really basic elements because we were creating something that had to work in a terminal. And so like that simple thing can just translate to a nice object and it speaks to you because you know Houston. You're like, oh yeah, I recognize it's just 3 little semicircles, but it's immediately Houston. So yeah, it can be as simple as that. But if I do it, then it's all coming kind of filtered through me, and definitely for the most part. I mean, like I said, there's a couple like these astronaut illustrations are done by Nate, and then inspired by those, I filled out this set with the other designs. I came up with these other little slogans. But yeah, it can be simple as like take a little slogan that you associate with Astro, and work it into a little typographic design. Or I showed off the Houston Decks T-shirt design earlier on, where like I said, it's the kind of individual elements here are not necessarily particularly complex. This particular design was done in Figma. You know, it's not a really an illustration software as per se, but you know, we're just throwing in some text, we're throwing in some Houstons, we're throwing in some little basic design elements and creating a nice composition. And I think everyone can do that. Let's catch up on chat because it took off. So Lou says they're itching to share what they made, but don't want to leak it. Yan has got, this is a absolute gold mine for cool screenshots because I'm copying them all into this Figma here. Yan just remembered this old GTA inspired graphic. Was this posted to social media or something? I don't know what the what the use for this was, but this was GTA, great toolbar Astro 4, I guess Astro 4. This would have been for while Astro was on V4. Maybe that's when we launched the dev toolbar. So yeah, this is like riff. I don't think anyone can sue you, right, for just using a recognizable font. But yeah, like you can riff on something that you kind of associate with Astro like this. Sarah's saying, I would totally buy that mug. That is exactly one. Do you mean the, oh, I got rid of the squished mug. You mean Matthew's design, Sarah?
Oh God, no, not Matthew's. No, I meant the one you're designing right now. I think it's perfect.
Oh yeah, okay. Way to discourage Matthew though, Sarah.
What I'm here for.
Sarah says, if you need inspiration, here's the Astro word cloud, which I had totally forgotten about, even though I built this. But so well done, Sarah, for remembering it. Yeah, this is back when we were working on AstroDB in the early days, and I wanted a little project to test it out on, and I was like, okay, what would be a nice project? Would be to like have a little form, like I don't know if we had actions at that point yet, or if it was just an endpoint. So I had like a little Astro website with a form, and you could submit the words that you thought that you associated with Astro, and basically I collected those into an AstroDB table, and then for the words that were mentioned most frequently, those are bigger on this word cloud, and the words that were mentioned less frequently or smaller. Yeah, so I like collected all of those over a week or something from the community, and you can kind of see some useful kind of inspiration here. Like as you can see, community is really important. We've been talking about that a bunch today. Houston's mentioned, got simplicity, easiness, speed, fun, simplicity, space, rockets. So yeah, lots of good. I hadn't thought about this, but this is a really nice little thing. If you want to kind of get inspired, you can come in here and grab a few words that that could maybe trigger something for you. And we've got Lou actually sharing one of the submissions. Lou, do you want me to put this up in the Figma so that everyone can see, or do you want me to keep it secret in the chat? Okay, let's do it. Yeah. Copy this image over. Oops, make that bigger. Yeah, so Lou has this little Super Mario inspired. Should I not say that? Are we going to get sued if I mention that? I don't know. I don't think this is, again, similar to the, actually next to the GTA one, we're getting our games collection on. Yeah, I don't think anyone can complain about this. Some great pixel art here, lovely stylized palm tree. So we got the island, we got a little mega stylized Houston, right? Like you thought the constraints of some little ASCII semicircles was tricky. Try doing that on a tiny pixel grid. So really great work. And we've got island time up here, echoing. We have a sticker that has that on as well. Always an island time. But yeah, nice, relaxed, deferred JavaScript. Oh, and Jan has Cannibal Houston, which I'm not sharing. I refuse to share. Yeah, and all of yours are like violent and so Cannibal Houston. We've got Houston with guns now. I'll skip these. Oh, and I actually skipped over this. I missed Matthew saying that the word cloud itself could even be a cool shirt. Yeah, definitely you could run with that. Like grab some of these words and like that's what I mean about like sometimes it feels kind of overwhelming when you want to start a design. You're like, oh my god, where do I start? Like how do I? And the same for me. Like when I was working on the shop, especially after we kind of started getting going, there was, some stuff's kind of obvious. Like okay, we're gonna have a Astro logo cap. We're gonna have let's see, take a look at the t-shirts. Like we've got these basic Astro logo t-shirts. Like these are kind of obvious things, right? Like any project that has a logo and wants to share some apparel is probably going to have something like this. This design actually we already had in our old shop, so that's not necessarily new. So we had a few things that we could use that I could use to get started, but then at some point you're like, oh my, I have to keep thinking of more stuff because like there needs to be fun stuff in here. So yeah, just grabbing like a few words or like this one, for example. I actually let me find my my sketch for this one, or rather not the sketch, but like I was just like scrolling through. You're trying to find inspiration, right? You're like, hey, I want to make a mug or I want to make a t-shirt, and so I was like, okay, let's just like Google for t-shirts and see what t-shirt designs there are, and a lot of them might look like trash, but then maybe there's one you're like, oh, that's kind of fun or cool. It would be cool to like do something like this. So anyway, I found this design. Which was a Pikachu. I can't remember where. I guess I was just probably in Google image search or something, or like browsing Amazon, like best-selling t-shirts or whatever. I don't know. So I found this design and I was like, oh, this is cute. I like the grid. I like these kind of little lightning bolts kind of cut out of the grid. This slightly 3D text also felt kind of a little bit space agey, a little bit Astro maybe, like there was some kind of resonance there. Obviously, we're not going to do a t-shirt with Pikachu on, but I liked something about this design. I was like, oh yeah, there's something nice here. You have this grid that adds a structure, and then stuff's kind of popping out of it, and has this cool Japanese text. And so I was like, how do I do that? And then this is what came out of that. Was like, okay, I can use a grid here. I can layer some stuff on top of here. I was like, we even have Japanese text because if we go to the Astro blog, we have this really cool post that was we posted back in January, which was this 2024 year in review. kind of looks back over all of the kind of progress and new features and cool stuff that happened to Astro and the community over the last 12 months. So, in January. And this was actually written by Shinya Fujino, who's a Astro maintainer and community member, very active in our Japanese translations. And it was posted in Japanese. Like, this is originally written in Japanese. It was a review that Shinya wrote, and then we were like, hey, shall we republish this? Like, let's make an English translation and share it with, like, on the Astro blog. And Shinya was really kind enough to let us do that and worked with Sarah to polish it up. But so I knew, I was like, hey, look, we have a whole bunch of Japanese text I can use. So I went and found that, and I just grabbed the first sentence because it seemed like a really good first sentence to put on a T-shirt. It mentions Astro, so I could use the Astro logo, and then the text is just this. It's Astro is a web framework well suited for content-driven websites, I could grab that and stick it on here. So yeah, just to say, like, you can quite quickly get inspiration from whether it's from another design or a word that might, like, inspire you, something like that. Nate's tweets says Jan are a trove of inspiration. So yeah, maybe that's what you need to just go through Nate's past tweets. Yeah, this is us, right? Please help us find someone to design our new merch. Basically, like, that's all we need to do here. Like, oh, I need to be definitely thicker here. Whoop. And I don't know, is this Comic Sans? There you go. That's the topic of today's stream. Oh, I missed Lou saying that they could talk about the design. That'd be great, actually. Let me just catch up with chat, and then I'll invite you on mic. Oh, and well, I'll skip over Lou's sharing some more details about the design here. I'm going to skip over those and let Lou talk about it on mic in a second. And I'll also catch up with the rest of the chat first. We have Sarah sharing a wild inspiration. Yeah, this could be a fun source of inspiration. If anyone can, like, design a hoodie or T-shirt that's inspired by this, I would be very impressed. Look at these. I'm amazed. The amazing things that exist on the internet are, like, wild. Like, someone's made this. It's a suit jacket, right? Like, it's a suit jacket, or like a blazer, yeah. But that's crazy. I wonder how many of these, like, have actually been ordered. Okay, Sarah's got all kinds of. We have to add this. Okay, we'll add this alongside your expressive code design. So Sarah's boom. There you go. Astro Docs, expressive code. Your art. All right, Lou, do you want to tell us some more about your design? Do you need? I might have to give you permission. Invite to speak. Hello.
So I'm actually on the go right now.
Oh, okay.
I don't think this still works. Hopefully you can hear me all right.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. So basically, the idea you described it was a game we cannot legally mention on the store. It was just because I really got into, like, retro consoles recently, and I know that a lot of Astro community members are actually into gaming. So that was not kind of the angle. Matthew actually helped me get inspired for that. Yeah, and from there was basically just World 1-1 from legally distinct Super Houston Bros. Where kind of what cool Easter eggs can I put in here? So, for example, you can see the question mark blocks are actually, TypeScript. I forget, it's in a while. TypeScript, JavaScript, and UI for the UI frameworks. And there's stuff for, I think, Houston's on an island for one, so That's the thing. Then you've got one of my favorite Easter eggs is if you look in the sky, like the spacey kind of galaxy sky, there's a purple planet, which is actually one of the designs that's commonly used across the website.
Oh,
Yeah, but basically there's lots of little Easter eggs and small details. It was very fun to work on.
thank you so much. Oh, I think also, can you hear
Chris, are you
me?
still here?
I think I lost sound on Discord for a second. And also I'm hearing that screen share is gone, so that's interesting. Looks okay on YouTube. I'll quickly leave the Discord call and rejoin maybe.
I'll just pop in quickly until he's back. Yes, that's amazing. Oh, looks like Chris is back.
Hello, sorry, I think,
Yes,
yeah,
they're
I
back.
think YouTube looks fine, but I think I just somehow briefly, oh no, maybe YouTube's not fine. Is it? No, I think it's going. I think it's going. I'm still getting used to the YouTube interface, but yeah. I'm not quite sure why one of my earpods died, and that somehow triggered everything to like disconnect. But anyway, yeah. Okay, so you should see it again, and you can obviously hear me, so that's good. Thanks, Lou, for
Yeah, there it is. Another
I
thing I
think
just noticed.
sorry, Lou, just before you
Something
go on, I think we did lose sound on YouTube.
oh,
We have yeah. Can you try talking again, Chris? Just to
hello,
be sure.
hello, 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 hello.
Oh, no, you're good. You know what? I forgot. YouTube, it's only coming out of one channel, and I put the wrong earplug in,
Oh,
earbud in.
damn.
Yeah, sound is fine. Sorry about that. Yeah, we had known that we're only getting left ear, Chris, I think, but I put the right one in when I was checking the sound. Okay,
I
sorry
did
about
not
that.
know
You're good.
that. Actually, I see that now there was a message sent to me 2 hours ago about that, but I did not see it. Um, so I could probably have fixed that if I knew, but I had no idea. So I guess on YouTube, hopefully people are going to listen with their left ear. No idea if there's anything we can do to fix that in post, as it were, but oh, more violence from Jan in chat. I'll not share it, but Jan has some extinction of the dinosaur memes coming up now. Looks good though. So it's a good. Not Jan says not violent, historic, prehistoric even. Yeah. All right. Well, this has been a lot of fun. I feel like we've collected a lot of inspiration here. And yeah, I haven't quite finished up this. I don't know. We're missing a few swooshes in here to get, and I might like tweak some of the stuff for the composition. But this was definitely fun, and I hope we'll get to see some more submissions from everyone. And this was kind of useful in like maybe whether that's the seeing some other submissions, seeing this, whatever this is. Whether it's seeing like knowing you can go grab this Astro word cloud, and maybe that's something that could be a good source of inspiration. But oh, and Sarah's sharing one last image to drop into our collection here, which is this is actually just a web element that we used to have, but I don't know where you got this from, Sarah, because it's not on our website anymore. But yeah, at one point we had this as our like call to action to join Discord, and you can see little avatars for Discord community members. So the idea of being in orbit, like all of these cool people and projects and everyone who's involved in making the community what it is. So yeah, anyway, I hope that's been useful. Does it actually, maybe before we, before I actually close out the stream, I'll double check that no one in chat has specific questions or like anything they'd like want to know, if they've maybe taken a look at the contest guidelines and were unsure about something, then please, maybe this is a good moment just to collect answers because we're here. And yeah, I'll drop the Oh, here's a question. Can I edit my one submission? Very good question. I think I didn't set it up to allow edits. I may be wrong about that. I'll have to double check. So, wait, wait, let me just I'm doing too many things at once. I'm going to drop the link to the contest again in chat, just if anyone wants to check out those guidelines. I'll double check real quick. I think I might be able to turn that on. If I haven't turned on allowing edits, maybe it's possible to do it retroactively. I don't know. What's it say? Allow response editing. Responses can be changed after being submitted. I will enable that, and maybe now you can edit your submission. I honestly don't know. It's a Google form. It's a while since I've used a Google form, so I don't know if that will only reply to people who submitted after I turn that on, or if it'll be smart enough to let you come back and edit your response somehow. But if not, literally, like, you can just well, I mean, maybe resubmitting is a pain for you because like, you'd have to fill in all the information again. That would be a pain. So if that's too much faff, don't worry about it. You can just let us know, email us it, or we'll just bear it in mind in the Discord. And if it's 1 pixel, it's a pixel. We can figure that out later on. You know, if we just, I don't know if it's like which pixel is off, but I have my doubts that it would be like the 1 pixel that would be like, you know what, we would have chosen this design. It would have been a definite winner, but that 1 pixel can't do it. So I can't imagine that would be the case. So if anything, it could be like, hey, we're gonna do this design, and you could give us the 1 pixel fix at that point. Question from Jeffrey: if I submit a design, does the design have to fit all mediums? No, definitely not. Like, if you let me see if I can pull up the form. Blank. Is this going to let me fill it in? I think so. I have to get past the first page to show this. Yeah, that's fine. I'll skip those. Yeah, basically, when you submit, you can say like, hey, I've made a design and I think it'll look great on a mug, or I think it'll look great on a hoodie, or multiple. You can have multiple choice here if you think it would work on all things. But there's no requirement to do all of them, to like have, again, like, I think part of the fun of doing this is that because we're like, for one of the very brief moments, leaving the physical world, leaving the digital world and like getting onto actual physical objects. So yeah, again, like, probably a design like this, which is maybe going to look nice wrapped around a mug, is not going to work super well in a hoodie, and there's no requirement for you to do all of them. Or and we allow you to submit three designs in the form, but the only one that's required is the first one. So yeah, there's no expectation that you necessarily do 3. Depends how much time you have. Depends what you want to get, what you want to do. But yeah, no problem. Matthew says, "Can I have a Houston PNG?" And Jan has answered in chat with a Houston PNG. Yeah, and I don't know. Yeah, let us know how you get on, because I guess that it's possible that the use responsibly. It's possible that would still not be high enough resolution necessarily to like print it really big. So maybe I'll look if we can provide an SVG. Maybe I know that there were issues in the past exporting Houston as an SVG because this guy. Here we go. Reset that rotation. It's all fine, but the gradient fill here, which uses this angular gradient, and SVG does not support angular gradients. So we've had issues exporting it like that. But yeah, anyway, we can talk about it. Sarah says, if someone submits something, we can work with them. And if it's mostly working with Houston, then, and maybe there's like something slightly off with the quality of the color, we can definitely be like, oh, this is a great concept, and let's just like work together to polish it up and make it look like even better. So that's also totally fine. If you think there's a something, like exactly like Sarah says, if you think there's like maybe the quality is going to be slightly down because of that, we can definitely clean it up. Oh yeah, Lou's saying maybe the colors are not quite right. They look pretty good when I looked at it. I think it's pretty close, Lou. I don't think it's that bad, but bring Houston over here. Come on. You're doing pretty good. Yeah. Oh, the rotation of the purple. Well, that's, oh yeah, there's not as much purple on the top right edge, but you've also got a lot less space to work with. So I think that's quite okay. Like the purple is so much fun, part of that gradient. So I think it's no problem to have some artistic license. Yeah. All right. Any other questions in chat before we wrap this up? Just check YouTube as well. Nothing in YouTube. All right. I'll take that as a we're all ready to submit our designs. Well, no, you don't have to do it today. Again, the deadline is next Thursday, so the end of the month, basically. Really excited to see what people come up with and then to share with everyone. Heidi's understood that, is submitting immediately. Perfect. I hope it. This is Heidi's design. Beautiful, beautiful rocket coming up here. Wonderful stuff. Oh, another question quickly from Lou. Was I actually the first person to submit something? I forget. There were 2 people, including you, who were very quick. At like, I think it was within a day or something of us announcing it. I forget. Like, right? It was like in the first 24 hours, more or less. And there was you and someone else who were that fast. I don't remember now who was first. I guess maybe I can check, but yeah. I was surprised because it. I mean, like, I think as we've seen today, we've just spent a couple hours on stream, and I know we've been like chatting and messing around, but like, I definitely haven't finished this. I just sketched something out, played around with it, and this is actually much simpler, my design so far, than this is pretty elaborate, right? Like, this is a lot of work. So yeah, I was impressed by how fast that came in. And I was like, you've also got time. Like, no, don't stress yourself. This is supposed to be fun. But I guess you had fun, so that's good. Really happy to see that. Immediately started pixeling. Yeah. Is there a page to download high-res Astro related assets? Yes. Not the Houstons. We generally, so this is a bit of an exception to our usual rule. So if you go to astro.build/press, oh, Lou's beaten me to it in chat. Go to astro.build/press. We have logos on here. So we've got Starlight logo, Astro logo. We don't have Houston on there for a simple reason, which is normally we have this guideline. We say like Houston should not be used because in general we consider Houston to be this like quite special part of the Astro community, and so it shouldn't be used like in someone else's branding somehow. Like, you shouldn't, like, it makes sense if you want to publish a blog post about Astro and include the Astro logo. That makes total sense. I think we have like a few things to call this out. Like, yeah, you're going to link to our website. Maybe you have a product or an open source package or something that supports Astro, and you're saying like, hey, Astro support. That's good. You're using the Astro logo to represent Astro, and you shouldn't use it to represent yourself or that kind of thing. Whereas Houston, we think of it as more as like this fun element that we bring in. So it's like, even all the Astro stuff would not include Houston, right? Like, if we have a blog post about an Astro release, normally there's no Houston here. It's just, it's about Astro. It's kind of factual and stuff. So Houston tends to show up in our community. It tends to show up in, trying to think when we would even have used Houston in a blog post. I feel like there have been a few times, but it's usually like, again, it's often community related and stuff like that. So anyway, long story short is that we generally don't recommend people using using the Houston kind of, let's say you have a library for Astro, you wouldn't use Houston, you just use the Astro logo. You wouldn't use you wouldn't use Houston in a blog post about Astro because it's a sort of more internal facing, like, hey, it's part of us. If we're part of the community, we're interfacing with Houston, but it's not something for other people to use. So that's why we don't generally share the assets. But yeah, the logos are there, and this is a bit of an exception because I think it can make sense to have Houston in here. We're talking about like fun stuff for people to kind of feel close to Astro with. So as you can see, there's like Houston related merch that we've already made, and totally makes sense. I think it also could be cool to have people's artistic interpretation of Houston, like maybe, I guess, a little bit like what Lou did, right? Is rather than taking the asset and which I've been doing today on the stream just because I thought it would give me something really quick to work with, and we'd actually get closer to being done than if I had to, let's say, draw Houston from scratch in some kind of cool style or something. It was really bad. Lou says they do have an idea for an artistic Houston, but it was really bad. Yeah, I mean, it also happens. Oh, no cannibalism. What is up with people? So yeah, but if people like Matthew asked, if people do need a Houston asset, we can share one. Houston with photorealistic legs. Wow, Houston does not have legs. We've had like a debate back and forwards about whether Houston even has hands, because like you can see, this is the Houston celebrating emoji here. Like, there's no hands involved, even though there's like a party streamer and all this stuff. We do have a couple of emojis where Houston has hands. Heidi just gave Houston a standard emoji hand. So yeah, hands were like, oh, does Houston really have hands? Legs, definitely no legs. I did do maybe I can find my, I shared a drawing with some people internally. Let me see if I can find it. It's not Houston though. It's oh, wait, why can't I find it? Wait, I clicked the wrong thing, right? Yes. Yeah, this has legs, but it's not Houston though. In case you're desperately feeling like you need to draw some legs, I doodled this like in a lunch break one day. So yeah, you can do legs, just no Houston, or you can have Houston without legs. You have to, one or the other. You got to make up your mind. All right. Okay, well, if there's no more questions, I wish everyone the best of luck with the design work. Do send us your designs. I really want to see them. It's already been a lot of fun seeing the designs come in, and yeah, it'd be really fun to make some of them become actual things, like on a t-shirt, on a mug, on a sticker. We haven't really talked about stickers at all today, but they're definitely like a cool thing. If you're thinking like, oh my God, this is so difficult, like I've got to think about a mug, or like, oh, a t-shirt, like where would I put it on the t-shirt? How big is it? What colors are it? Like maybe a sticker is a kind of more approachable format where it's just like a little doodle, a little cool shape, a little cool Astro thingy. Maybe that's not so overwhelming, I don't know, but yeah, do try it out. And yeah, like Sarah says, if you're also not sure, you think like this looks cool, but you don't really know exactly how it should work, you can always submit it, and we can maybe figure out like how it would work best. Like you could say like, hey, I think this is a sticker, and we're like, no, this needs to be printed like huge on the back of a hoodie, and like that could be our call. So, oh, and Matthew is submitting live on air, so congrats to Matthew for submitting live on air. And I don't know, I haven't got the form open to see the submissions come in, but definitely excited to see them come in as we're ready. So, seeing as we're doing this on YouTube, let me first of all, I'll start to end the YouTube stream because it's the first time. So thanks for tuning in. I will pause the thing and say goodbye.